Welcome, everybody. Talks for the People, episode 30. Big episode tonight. We are going to be doing our Marvel Showdown. We can't wait to argue amongst ourselves and hopefully get some arguments in the comments. Waiting to see all of y'all tell us how wrong we were and why we were wrong and argue with our outcome. But before we get started, how are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing solid. Beautiful day it is.
Yep, doing good. Back to work this week. That's not good, but I am happy to be back, and I'm ready to be focused this week. I'm ready to roll.
Well, we're ready to rock and roll, and we're ready to ruffle some feathers with our Marvel Superhero Showdown tonight. Now, before we get started, the way this worked is we decided on the 16 characters that we were going to put in this tournament. And then I went to random.org and I just put the 16 names in a list. And this is the order that they got spit out in. So this is the order we're going in. This is the seating that was automatically done. So without further ado, everybody, welcome to the Talks for the People Marvel Showdown.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right. Round one, match one. The Hulk versus Falcon. What do you guys got for me? Who's winning this fight?
I feel. What you got, Cody?
I was just gonna say this for me. This is super easy. I think the Hulk just absolutely whips his butt.
Yeah, I think this is probably of all the superheroes one of these most overmatched with Hulk just dominating Falcon.
Okay, but you don't think his flight gives him any advantage, like to evade him and get away? I mean, Hulk's got to catch him first.
I can agree with that, but at the same time, like for example, if you watch The Incredible Hulk, that man just jumped half continents. Like he's got the strength of temporary flight with his ability to jump super high. So I think if Falcon don't play his cards right, one little slip up and he's the Hulk crushed.
Yeah, I think Falcon's advantage here is not getting caught. So as long as he can elude the Hulk, he's got a chance. But if Hulk gets him, it's over. That Hulk rage is just going to tear him apart.
I ultimately, at the end of the day, I agree. I think Falcon puts up a fight. He evades. He prolongs the match. But I think at the end of the day, you're right. Hulk's big, mean, angry. All he's got to do is grab his toe, catch him in the air, and then he can fling him into any buildings that are nearby. The Hulk moves on to round two. In our next matchup, we actually have girl versus girl. This worked out this way. So we have Black Widow versus Captain Marvel.
I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage here because I have not seen Captain Marvel yet. But Black Widow is such a bad butt that I cannot imagine her getting beat in the first round. So I'm going with my girl. I'm going with Black Widow.
I hate to say this, and I know you haven't seen the movie, Cody, so just to fill in some perspective, in the Marvel world, compared to DC, Captain Marvel is Superman. I mean, of course, comic book nerds will have a lot to say, like they're different here and there, but equivalent-wise, it's like comparing Batman and Iron Man for the two. Captain Marvel, Superman, they're the head-to-head kind of thing. So I hate to say it, as much as I would love to see Black Widow fight her way through this, the superpowers over the elite skill that Black Widow has, I think the superpowers win. So I would have to go with Captain Marvel.
I don't know. Captain Marvel's not bulletproof. She is not the Superman of Marvel. She's not bulletproof. She can fly, but she can't jump a building in a single jump. I mean, Black Widow's got a good ground game. She's going to bring her down to her level. She can't just fly around and expect to win this fight. She's got to come down to Widow's level at some point. And I think you get these two in a ground match showing down. Black Widow's going to pull a Rousey, and when she gets a hold of her, I think you got a brawl in your fight, and I got to give the scrappiness to Widow.
Yeah, I agree because you also got to think about her. What do you call it? Her, she has all these tools other than fighting. Like she's got the intelligence agency. She's got she can find you or when you've been hiding for years and all this stuff. She has all these tools to her advantage as well, and she could also hide away for a while if she needed to, using those same tools. So I really think, I think Captain Marvel would have her hands full with Black Widow for sure.
I definitely think it would be tough considering Captain Marvel can fly and breathe in space. So if she snagged her up and flew into space, that'd probably be the quickest, simplest way just to be like, all right, I'm done. But
yeah, but if she snatches her up, she's just gonna wrap her around and put her in like a chokehold, and she may not get to space before she chokes out.
It's possible.
Just snap her neck.
But if y'all are voting for Black Widow, I guess she advances with a 2-1 vote.
I gotta give the advantage to Widow. When you bring it down to the ground, you got a ground fight between these two. Advantage Widow. I know people are you're probably gonna have, if this episode manages to blow up, you're gonna have a lot of people on your side. I don't disagree with that, but this is our show, and you lost 2-1. Black Widow advances.
All right. Like I said, I want to see Black Widow advance. So
you want to talk about another fight that's probably mismatched, but match 3, we got Thor versus StarLord. I think this would be a funny match. I think if we got to see this fight, it would make an epic movie scene, because these three would be hurling insults at each other that would make you roll on the floor laughing.
And I'll say this.
Thor or normal Thor?
No, this is normal Thor.
Both of them are worthy Thor. So, I'll say this, just before everybody gives their decision, keep in mind, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we find out that StarLord isn't technically only human. He's part celestial, which makes him like a divine being kind of scenario. So he's not just some simpleton with a couple of gadgets and stuff like that. He's got a little more to him than just I'm a little sneaky human. So interesting indeed. But I personally would have to go with Thor, especially after watching Ragnarok, where Thor and Hulk fight, and they both could have easily beat each other. Thor is he's one of the more powerful, figures, especially in the current MCU TVs, movies and stuff like that right now. So I'll have to go with Thor.
Cody?
I'm going with Thor as well. I think this is a mismatch.
Yeah, I think ultimately this one did end up being a mismatch, and I agree. Thor advances to the next round. Match 4. Another one that on the surface may seem mismatched, and we're gonna want to spit out who we think would win instantly, but let's consider all the facts. We have AntMan versus Captain America. Now, this does seem like a mismatch, so first, before we just jump to conclusions, let's give some of the pros of Ant-Man.
Get very small.
Yeah. Ant-Man has the ability to get in places he can't, no one else can. He has the ability to grow on the flip side of that too, like you saw in Civil War, where he was bigger than a freaking commercial airplane. And I mean, as much as Captain America can do this all day, I'd hate to say, but I think Ant-Man, if he wanted to grow big, and Captain America's stuck punching at his ankle, I'm not sure not much is going to get accomplished.
Right?
If Ant-Man did want to go that route.
And I'm not saying Captain America doesn't put up a fight. I mean, we all know Captain can pack a punch. I mean, on the face, you want to say this is easy. Captain America wins this match 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. But I'm just starting to wonder. I mean, what if Ant-Man grows up really huge and then jumps at Captain and shrinks down really little and goes down his throat? All he's got to do then is just expand back to full-size Captain America's blown to smithereens. Guts everywhere.
Yeah, but you also got to consider that he's the perfect soldier, so I think he would see that coming. I think he would automatically clench the mouth where he can't get in. Throw him off.
Can you clench your butthole tight enough for him to not get in?
Well, he's got to get through that suit, so he's got them tights on.
Hey, we've seen him get microscopic before. That's just spandex.
Well, I'll say this: I am really torn in half with this, because Ant-Man, especially for his growth ability, and then Captain America being, and I'll say this, the movies are fantastic for all of these characters that we have here, but there's some of them, the movies don't quite do the characters justice, and I think there's a lot more to Captain America than we see in the movies. I think he's overshadowed by powerful beings like Thor and Hulk. That Captain America is a lot more in the comics than you see in the movies. So if you go off of that, it might be easier to say Ant-Man, but I'm going with Captain America. I think Captain America, as always, does what it takes to get the job done. So going with Captain America. I mean, and I know my buddy Derek, who when he watches, like, he's gonna be like my man, because big Captain America fans. So shout out Derek, man. I don't know if he'll get to past round two, but I'm sitting Cap on for me.
Look, I think I agree. I think we moved Captain America forward, but this match is much harder than it appears on paper. This is like a rivalry game in college football. You can't go by the numbers and everything. Like, it looks like a mismatch. I mean, but I think you playing some big boy ball right here, and I think Cap comes out on top at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I really hate that these two ended up in the first round together, because I would like to see Ant-Man go pretty deep, because I enjoy the character as well. Yeah, no pun intended. But but I got Cap going to the next round as well.
All right, moving on to match number 5. We have Iron Man versus Hawkeye.
I mean, this might be biased because I'm a bit like, he's probably one of my top 3, but Iron Man all day. Like, he intellectually and with his technology that he just creates off the top of his head, he's capable of going head to head. He might not beat everybody, but capable of going head to head with anybody we've talked about so far, especially. But I think Iron Man, Especially like, if you take into consideration when he had the Hulkbuster suit and he fought Hulk dead on and put him to sleep. I was like, woo, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. That thing had me rolling, but I think Iron Man's capable. I got to see my man Iron Man through.
Yeah, I mean this is another one I hate these two got put together in the first round because I really like Hawkeye's character and I appreciate what he brings to the table, but yeah, he's gonna have a rough time against against Iron Man. Those arrows of his just aren't gonna get it done. And
Right.
shout out to my wife. It's just gonna break her heart because that's her favorite. Hawkeye's her favorite person. So Jeremy Renner, she's a big Jeremy Renner fan.
I agree. I think Hawkeye has enough technology and marksmanship with his arrows and all that he can put up a fight for a little while. But once Iron Man gets his hands on him, I mean, it's over. It's not going to be a long fight once he's got to be physical with Iron Man. He could play the long game. He could put some holes in that suit. He could put a hurting on him from a distance. But this is one, unlike our Black Widow, Captain Marvel fight, saying they would have to ground fight eventually. Once Iron Man gets his hands on Hawkeye, this one's over. Iron Man.
Iron Man.
All right, this next one looks a little interesting, and I admit I don't know as much as I would like to about one of them, or both of them for that matter, but one of them more so. We have Scarlet Witch versus Loki. So
I'll start this by saying that, and I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but Scarlet Witch is probably one of the most worthless characters in my opinion. And so
you just
now I'm not taking anything away from her. I mean, she will put up a very good fight, I'm sure. I guess, but I don't know. Loki's got some stuff going on there, so, and she's pretty useless, so I think she can do it. I mean, he can do it.
Where are we at
Steven is dying over here.
Where are we at in the universe timeline? Does Loki currently have the Tesseract?
I think his show coming out is probably going to say he does.
Well, he has to, he's not going to be very useful without it. He was a lot more dangerous with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Steven, you want to say something? Go ahead. Tell us why Scarlet Witch is going to kick Loki's ass, in your opinion.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where the movies don't do them justice. Neither one of you watched WandaVision yet.
No, I watched the first episode.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but she demonstrates an ounce of her power, and you're like, holy crap. And that's just in the show, right? And of course, different sources will have different numbers and whatnot. But Scarlet Witch is on the list of like the top 5 strongest characters in the comic book world. Movies did not do her justice. Like, Scarlet Witch at full power could have easily just like, you know what, Thanos? You don't need that arm. You don't need that arm, and we'll take them legs. And all right, meaty, what you doing now? Like, she is outrageously powerful. Outrageously powerful. But like I said,
call him meaty.
You know, I agree with you. If you go just off of the movies, she looks and appears to be super worthless. Like, yo, why is she here? Hawkeye, watch my girl here while we handle business, right? So, but if you know just a little bit about the comic book world, Scarlet Witch is an absolute monster. So, in my opinion, she's got to go. But the votes go in. So, whatever y'all say, I'm just letting you know, Scarlet Witch. I was giving my thing about Iron Man earlier about how like I think he can compete with anybody. I don't think he competes with Scarlet Witch. If he has to go up against her later on, I'm gonna have to vote against him. I just know it.
Okay, well, I will say this. Based on what you just said, and knowing the fact that a lot of times Loki relies on his cunning skill and getting over on people and just his sense of being able to like shapeshift and everything. Shape-shifting and being sneaky is not going to help you in a one-on-one fight in an arena. I think you've won me over. I think my vote goes towards Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch wins. All right, next match. This one could definitely go either way. We have Doctor Strange versus Spider-Man.
Oh, that's such a tough one.
This is tough.
These are two characters I really like, both of them. In fact, I like the actors that play them, but both of them. The characters have a fantastic story. They have awesome powers to go along with it. And you, especially like you watch Infinity War and Endgame, you see that both of them can handle their business. Like they handled their own. Nobody had to babysit them. So this one's a tough one for me.
Yeah, and if you go back to the Spider-Man I watched growing up, the 90s, I can't remember what exactly it was called, but it come on Saturday mornings with X-Men and everything. He did some dimensional travel and stuff too, so I wouldn't say that that's going to affect him a whole lot if Doctor Strange starts throwing some of that on him, because he's been there. He's kind of had to deal with that in the past. So that might give him a little bit of a leg up there.
And just for clarification, I think all three of us are on the same page, but for all our listeners, we are referring to the Peter Parker Spider-Man. This isn't Miles Morales or any of the other Spider-Verse Spider-Man. We are referring to Peter Parker. And one of the things, Cody, one of the point I was going to make in favor of Doctor Strange, you just shot a rebuttal without even knowing it. I was thinking, like, Spider-Man can be shooting web around trying to get around to his back, and get on him and attack him. And Doctor Strange shoots up a portal, and all of a sudden he's flying through a portal to another dimension. So he's got that. Doctor Strange has that. But like you said, Doctor Strange is eventually going to have to also go to that place and get him. And I don't think that affects Spider-Man that much. This one really is tough, man. I don't know who to put forward on this.
Other than he could get lost. I'm sorry, Steven. He could get lost in the dimension. Let's say he gets in somewhere in no man's land where there's no walls. So he's just going to be flying through the air. Now, he could get him there because Doctor Strange can fly.
He teleports him to a desert or something.
Of course, now if he gets within shooting range of Spider-Man, he can just get him with a web and latch onto him. So
I'll put it this way. My vote is going to go towards Doctor Strange because of the bracket setup we have. I'm playing it in my mind like these characters know, all right, I'm about to battle this person, that kind of thing. Because strength for strength, I think Spider-Man he is incredibly strong. Another one of those things that it did him a little bit of justice in the movies for Spider-Man, but not completely. So he has got a lot more brute strength than you realize for Spider-Man. But Doctor Strange, the ability to see into the future, and he played off beating Thanos how many 1 million, 2 billion times to see which scenario he could win in is ridiculous. I feel he plays one of those cards. He plays mind games with Spider-Man, especially Spider-Man being young, inexperienced, being a kid. Doctor Strange just mentally breaks him down and gets that battle. I want Spider-Man to win so bad, but I'm going with Doctor Strange.
That's a really good point that to consider is Spider-Man is young and everything, you know, everything we see Spider-Man in, he's like he's a college student, so he's early 20s, late teens.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there is definitely a youth and kind of innocence about him that could be his detriment.
You're right. I really, really want to see Spider-Man advance, but with the way this seeding fell, I think we have to give it to Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange wins. I think he can see all possible outcomes, and he goes with the one that nets him the win. I think that's his advantage.
Yeah, I'll go with Doctor Strange, and I hate that too because I love Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
And I hate it, but yeah.
If this was a 100% spontaneous, like Spider-Man decides, you know what, I'm gonna go kick that guy's tail. I'm gonna go over there and handle business and surprise him. I think Spider-Man wins. But in the scenario we're kind of setting up here, bracket, two heroes fight each other and they move on kind of thing. I think Doctor Strange gets it. I'm giving it to him for this one.
All right. Now, every match we've discussed so far has relied on powers. They're superheroes. They've had powers. I think this final match is our first and only brute strength versus brute strength. We have the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, versus Drax the Destroyer. Who's winning this match?
Oh, it's gonna be hard not to pull for Drax because he's got all those little sayings and he's so funny. But he's gonna have his hands full.
He's definitely gonna have his hands full.
That one's tough, and I hate to say it, but I think for the most part, I wish I knew more about Drax. Right? Like, if you go by the movies, I think every time he got in a fight, he got his tail whooped. Like, every time. It's like, bro went in there, got thrown up against the wall, and then got right back up to, like, it's like, he was a complete goofball. But I wish I knew, like, comparable what his strength was. Does he have any special skills? Like, we know Bucky is a trained assassin.
Right. That's what I was going to say. They're brute strength, but I mean, if Bucky does feel like Drax is getting the upper hand, he pulls out that sniper. I mean, game over. I mean, we know
assassin, yeah.
we know Bucky is an honorable guy overall. But if it came down to it, is he going to rely on his gun skills to win this match?
I think so. I think Bucky is, and of all the superheroes, in my opinion, on our list, I think Bucky is the number one that carries less regret than anybody else. Like, I feel he could kill someone and then not turn his shoulder back when he's done. Of all the heroes, like, everybody else would be like, man, I can't believe I had to do that. Bucky would be like, had to be done, whatever, and go on about his business. And I think that mentality, especially with him being an assassin, is a huge edge over Drax to be like, I handle business. I don't know what to tell y'all. Sorry for his luck.
I think I'm giving my vote to Bucky. You have anything to add, Cody? A rebuttal for Drax? We calling this a clean sweep for Bucky?
It's a clean sweep. I think Bucky goes in there focused and with target in mind, and I think it's probably a pretty short battle. Unfortunately, 'cause I like Drax. He's funny, but funny get you killed.
Drax is great.
Funny.
I don't know. Does Drax use that skill where he stands so incredibly still that nobody can see him. He's invisible to the human eye.
That is true. He could do that.
I think that might be a disadvantage against Bucky's assassin skills.
Right.
I mean, if Drax
Bucky's gonna see him blink and shoot him in the eye.
if Drax pulled that, then even Cody could snipe him.
So I can still see you. You're eating a
Oh
star.
man! Wow.
All right. Let's move on to round 2. First one has ended up lopsided, in my opinion, but let's see what y'all have to bring to the table. We have the Hulk versus Black Widow.
I feel like we've seen this already. Didn't they fight in one of the Avengers movies?
I think he chased
bit.
Widow down, and she kind of calms him down to turn back to Bruce Banner.
Now, see, is she the kind of person, too, that will do that and then snap his neck? I mean, and win the fight.
So maybe we should have talked about this in the first round. Is that a possibility? Or are we only considering the Hulk in this brackets? Or are we considering the possibility that he could go... There's scenarios he could get back to Bruce Banner.
It doesn't matter if his body gets to a place where he will die, he turns back into the Hulk anyhow. So hypothetically speaking, Black Widow just puts the mindset on him like, it's okay, baby, you don't have to do this, and he goes back to Bruce, and she tries to snap his neck. Then he just goes green again, like, you betrayed me, and then kills her.
I think he put...
This way. What were you saying, Alan?
I was gonna say, yeah, this one ended up lopsided. I think he put these two in an arena, and I'm sad to see ScarJo go, but it's bye Black Widow.
So
I'm afraid if he gets a hold of her like he did Loki, like, do. Yeah, that's not gonna end well. It's gonna be a mess for somebody to clean up.
So in the comics, there's a scenario, there's a universe where Thanos wins, and he kills all of the superheroes, every last superhero, except for the Hulk because it can't kill the Hulk. So he just puts him in a cage. He kills all of them without a doubt. Kills them. He just doesn't know what to do with the Hulk because he can't kill him. So he's like, well, I'll imprison you for life. Whatever. Go hang out over there. That's how, like, there's no way to kill him.
So we got a clean sweep for Hulk in this fight.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Ooh, God. Round 3, match 2. We have Thor versus Captain America. This one could go on for ages, this fight. Because you got to remember, Cap is the only human that can, if any comic nerds hear me pronounce this, I'm about to get roasted in the comments, but Cap is the only human that can pick up Mjolnir. Did I say that right? Mjolnir?
I think it's close.
Close enough. It's close enough. Cap's the only one that can, so it also leads to reason, could he catch it? If Thor tries the attack where he throws it at Cap, could Cap catch it?
Put it this way, I'm envisioning this battle. I'm going to go ahead and chalk it down that Captain has Mjolnir and Thor has Stormbreaker, like he did in the Avengers Endgame. I'm going to go ahead and chalk it down that they both have one. I would still put Thor as the victor, though.
Man, that's sad.
God of Thunder
Guys,
wins.
I'd hate to see Cap go. That's my boy. I've always been a Captain America fan. Is it any consolation that he's got the shield? If he hits the shield, I mean the shield's just gonna you know, it may send Thor shaking back.
Yeah, I agree. I think that when it comes down to it, you're talking about God to man with superpowers, and eventually he gonna wear down. I think not so much. I think it'll be a great battle for a while, but I think in the end, Thor just tires Captain America down, and he's at one of those I could do this all day where he can barely stand up kind of thing. You can only block lightning for so long.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you do have to at least admit that Cap doesn't really have any quote unquote superpowers. His body was manufactured in a lab, and he has access to the technology that powers his shield. And I also think that Cap's too good of a guy to win this fight. I think he starts getting beat down, and he, like you said, he's going to just go until he can't go anymore, and then, I mean, Thor is going to reluctantly take this battle. I don't think Thor would do it with pride. I don't think this is one where Thor would just want to beat him into the ground, but I think I don't know if y'all are wrestling fans or watched how late y'all watched, but I think this is the Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair and Ric Flair's retirement match. I don't know if y'all have seen that match where Ric Flair is standing in the middle of the ring. He's damn near crying because he knows it's his last match. The camera hits Shawn Michaels. He's setting up for his finisher. He's stomping the ground, and he looks at Ric Flair and says, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then super kicks him and pins him for the win during Ric Flair's retirement match. And I think a similar thing happens here. Captain America is not going to give up, but Thor's just going to be too much for him.
I agree. It's Thor. I think Thor wins, but I think Cap gives him a hell of a fight.
Absolutely. All right, Steven, let's see if you're a man of your word. Round 2, match 3. We have Iron Man versus Scarlet Witch.
Kicks that bitch's ass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. On a serious note, Scarlet Witch, I got to stand by what I said earlier. She is an absolute force. I don't think there's no way Iron Man. I mean, him fighting Scarlet Witch is like the equivalent of him fighting Magneto. Bro, you trying to fight the guy who controls metal in a metal suit. Like, Scarlet Witch has that power, but it's not just metal. She can control everything. So I think she takes Iron Man. She has his way with him. I mean, she folds him like a jewelry box, dude. I mean, so bad. But I think Scarlet Witch takes him out.
What's your take on this, Cody?
Well, so we talked about earlier that the way these brackets are set up, they know going in who they're going to fight. Mm-hmm. So for me, I have to think about Tony Stark is so smart and intelligent that I think he finds a way going into this match. He develops something to where he has an advantage. Now, I don't know that he wins, but he has some kind of advantage that it's not just a beat down. She don't just fold him up like a toaster. I mean, he goes in there and she's like, "Holy crap!" Like, he's ready for me.
Yeah.
And I don't have all the knowledge I need to make an accurate call on this one. I'm gonna let y'all decide. Cody's pro Iron Man, Steven's pro Scarlet Witch. Which one of y'all will succeed?
I'll say this, and I'll use it because I love the perspective you just grabbed there. I love it. The fact that Iron Man is just like, for example, Batman versus Superman. Batman knew he did not have power to defeat Superman, but he planned and plotted a way to do it. I think Iron Man is just as capable of doing that. But I still go with Scarlet Witch for the simple fact that, and I play soccer, so I'm gonna use that as a comparison. A high school soccer team playing, U10 soccer team. U10 can plan all day, every day for 10 years, and when they go to play, they're just not big enough. They're not strong enough to compete to finish it. I think I love Iron. I hate going against Iron Man because he's like one of my top three for sure. But a Scarlet Witch is just so powerful. I think that no matter what he comes up with, she just kind of thanks for playing, chum. I hate it. I don't like it at all. But
Alan, you're gonna have to break the tiebreaker because I can't vote for her. So
God, putting it on me. Tony Stark is a smart man.
he is.
Scarlet Witch is super powerful. I think that the comments are going to roast me if this episode blows up, but I think Iron Man figures out a way to outsmart Scarlet Witch.
Yay!
and I'm not cheering because Scarlet Witch got beat. I'm cheering because Iron Man is going on. I like Iron Man.
I don't. He's just got too much technology in his hands, too much help. I think he figures out a way.
I like it
to pull it off.
Thank you. Y'all are the best.
All right. Final match of round 2. We have Doctor Strange versus Bucky Barnes. This one gets a little weird. I mean, because Bucky's going to try and keep this a physical fight. He's going to try and keep it to what he knows.
And I think the assassin part of Bucky tries to keep it like, you think of it like a boxing match. The closer I have this person to me, the less their their jabs are going to do because they're right up against you. I feel Bucky tries to play that perspective, like you can use your portals all you want, but I'm going to be close enough to where you're going to be in that portal too, my man. I feel he does that. That was a tough one.
Well, I mean, the way I'm leaning is, if Bucky Barnes can get a close game, then I definitely have to give the advantage to him because he's definitely got him on strength. Doctor Strange has his magic, he has his portals, he has time control and all that, but he has to be able to use them. And if Bucky can close the gap and gets his hands on Doctor Strange, then I don't know how many chances Strange is going to have to use his powers. He can't be getting punched in the face and trying to open a portal.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bucky endures for a while, puts up with a lot of crap, and then he finally gets close enough that he can get a hold of him and just beats the hell out of him.
I agree. I think he doesn't even have to pull any guns out on this one. His brute strength is going to win him this one. He's going to close the gap. He's going to get in there. Like he said, like Steven's example with the boxing, Strange manages to open a portal, and Bucky's got one hand around Strange's collar and pulls him with him. I mean, he's right there. Like, he hasn't gotten away from him or separated him. I think Bucky's tenacious enough to win this fight.
And I'll put it, I think my thoughts on it are, if they fight 10 times, I think Doctor Strange wins 8. But I think this first match, Bucky ain't playing. He goes in to win and he wins it. That's what I have playing in my mind. Like, if they fight 10 times, Doctor Strange, 10 out of 8 or 8 out of 10. I mean, he takes care of business. But I think the very first fight, Bucky is like, he's going in here like, mm-mm. So I think, they go up against each other. I think Bucky wins.
Bucky Barnes advances. Round 3. Match 1. We have the Hulk versus Thor. Now, if I remember correctly, we've had a preview of this fight. Although self-admittedly, it's been a year and a half, 2 years since I watched the movie, and I don't remember the outcome. Roast me, commenters. I don't. So, I'll give y'all first go at this fight. The Hulk versus Thor.
This is a brute strength on brute strength match, too.
Go ahead, Steven.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I know one person that is going to roast the fire out of me for this. We work with him. Zach is going to kill me, but I think I'm going to go with Thor over Hulk. I think Thor, and in Ragnarok, that fight you were talking about, I think he, I mean, technically it was a tie. I think Thor won that. I think Thor does it.
This is one where I think Thor's ability to fly, and he has access to Mjolnir, whatever his hammer's name is, and he's got the axe.
Stormbreaker.
Yeah, Stormbreaker. God, I can't remember anything tonight. He's got access to both of these. He can call down lightning. He can fly. Hulk will get his hands on him. He's going to hurt him. But I think when we get down to the very end of it, I think Thor pulls out the win.
Yeah, I do too. You're still talking about a god versus the Hulk, and you know, it's gonna be a heck of a fight. There's gonna be a lot of crap destroyed. It's gonna look like an F5 tornado just went through a whole entire continent. But I think Thor in the end gets it done and just outlasts him.
I agree. I think
Because if anybody can take the damage that the Hulk is going to put out, it's Thor. The slinging him like Loki, Thor's like, all right, let's go, baby. Anybody else are like, oh God. With the exception of the Black Widow, which he just destroyed when he did that. She just splattered on.
All right. Round 3, match 2. We have Iron Man versus Bucky Barnes. Iron Man versus Winter Soldier.
I tell you what, Bucky's going to have his hands full. Because all
absolutely.
Iron Man has to do is, as soon as this match starts, just launch a bunch of heat-seeking rockets. And, I mean, Bucky's running for his life. He's never going to be able to stop and get a clean shot at him.
I think it makes for an awesome movie scene where all the rockets are hitting behind him and you see him running and jumping. And I think it makes for an excellent movie scene. But I think Tony's got this one. I mean,
Tony's, and even hypothetically speaking, they're standing right in front of each other, and muscle for muscle, they are equal. Tony's gonna have him with the smarts. Just his ability to think quickly, react, overcome. I mean, he technically fought him already in Civil War, and then he needed Captain America's help to beat him, and he really didn't beat him. Tony just went ahead and just blew that arm off. It's like, hey man, you got him my way. Mom and Dad are talking here.
I agree. Iron Man goes on to the championship match, which brings us to the final match of our showdown. The Talks for the People Marvel Showdown 2021. We have Thor versus Iron Man. Who is winning this fight?
This is tough.
Question.
I mean, it seems like Thor would just it seemed like Thor would be unbeatable. But like we keep saying, Tony is so smart, and he's gonna go in here prepared with a game plan. I think it's a hell of a fight.
So let me ask y'all this: what do y'all think? And I know this is going off on a limb, but what do y'all think about not giving an answer today? Telling the subscribers, leave in the comments who your winner is, and then next week we open up with our votes.
I mean, we can definitely do that if you're too scared to give an answer.
Oh yeah. Dude. I think like we had said, Thor is a god, so he's got the strength, he's got the endurance, he can continue to do it. Iron Man, I mean, he has the ability to overcome anything he goes up against. I mean, Iron Man is the only human that drew blood from Thanos. In fact, out of all the other superheroes, the only one to draw blood was Thor with his axe. He is the only one to put Thanos and be like, "Whoa, my man, I didn't see that coming." Like,
all right. I mean, I'm good with it.
That's up to y'all. I just thought about it, and I thought, let's see if we can get the subscribers to interact here and say, "Hey, look, who do y'all think?" I mean, if y'all want to go ahead and,
no, we've
been talking about it long
You
enough.
know what? You know what? I like this idea. If you've been listening to this episode, I'm talking to you, the viewer now, you, the listener. Share this episode. We are trying something completely new this week. Share this episode. Let's get a lot of views on this episode. If you are watching this episode, I want you to drop your answer down below. Who wins this fight? Thor or Iron Man? Who is the ultimate Marvel superhero? And while you're at it, tell us why we were wrong in every other fight we picked, because that's how YouTube comments work. So go ahead and tell us why we were wrong, but after you get done telling us why we were wrong and how stupid we are on comic book superheroes, make sure you tell us who would win the fight between Thor and Iron Man.
And do us a favor, share this and caption it, "Who wins Superhero Showdown?" Share it with that caption to get other people to watch it and be like, "Whoa, I need to get an answer here," and talk about how stupid these decisions were. Get everybody involved. Share it. Who wins Superhero Showdown? Let's get this video out there and see who thinks is the best superhero in the Marvel Universe.
And look, just to let you behind the curtain for a minute, we won't be giving the winner on the next episode. In fairness to our viewers, in fairness for people to have time to share this video, we record on Wednesday nights. These episodes go live on Sunday afternoon. So that would only give you 3 days to watch, share, view, and give us your answers. So this is episode 30. We will reveal the winner on episode 32. Share this video with everywhere you know. Plaster it on your Facebook. Plaster it on Twitter. Text it to your friends. Tell everybody. If nothing else, just tell them to click on this link and tell us who would win this fight in the comments. Thor or Iron Man. Let us know down below.
Yep. I'm calling people out. All right, look. Mom and Dad, when y'all watch this, Mom, you get on Facebook, you comment on there. I know y'all watch YouTube on TV, so y'all haven't figured out how to comment on there yet. But Mom, you can comment on my Facebook post. My wife, you better get on there and comment. My brother, you better get on there and comment. Jessica, you need to catch up and get on there and comment. Alan's brother, Philip, you get on there and comment. I'm calling everybody out. Get on here. Let's get this going.
And once y'all comment, I want y'all to notice that we have been family friendly for the last 2 episodes. There has been no foul language. There has been no foul talking. So there is no reason for you not to share this video. We have behaved ourselves. We've been good little boys. So after you comment who you think should win, there's a little button underneath the player that says share. You copy that link and you paste it on your Facebook and Twitter and whatever other social media you've got. And you let everybody know that they need to come vote and see who wins this match, Thor or Iron Man. With that being said, we're out. We will reveal the winner on episode 32 of Talks for the People. That's in 2 weeks. Y'all got anything else to close out this episode?
Thank y'all for watching. And hey, even though we're not going to give our answer next week, I will definitely be giving shout outs to everybody who comments. Hey, we had this person who voted for Iron Man, this person who voted for Thor. We're going to give you shouts out on the next episode, and then 2 more, we'll give our answers and we'll wrap it all up. But we're excited to be interacting with y'all. So thank y'all for watching again.
Absolutely. Everybody, have a good week. Get out there and vote and share our page. Y'all have a great day.
For me.
Peace out.
Peace.